And then it was a season that got very dry, and I realized what you said about seasons. Nothing was working. Okay? So people the whole time, the deaf community that adored me at one point, I was removed from groups. By the season yako ikifika, guy, when it's your time, when it's done.
Yeah.
Even dogs don't like you. Unapitanga bali na kubakia tu.
Welcome to Untethered Conversations. This is a space where we get to explore all topics, leadership, personal growth, personal journey. And my guest today is Njeri Muchina, who has very interesting stories. I read somewhere, anaitwa Njeri wa grants. So hopefully today I'll get to learn a lot about grants. But I'm also looking forward to learn a lot when it comes to the community of sign language. I'm looking forward to demystifying, because it's not a common subject that we talk about. I do not have any experience apart from what I see on TV when people are doing their interpretation. So join me in learning and growing together, and I hope it will be an interesting session. Njeri, karibu sana.
Thank you.
So to kick us off is just to get to know, in Njeri's words, who is Njeri?
So Njeri Muchina is, I joke with my friends and I tell them that I am a brand. That is, Njeri Muchina is a brand, the way brands are Coca-Cola and whatever, And I tell them that is what earns me money. So, but away from that, I am a daughter. Both of my parents are deaf. They're in Limuru. And then I'm also a wife and a mother and a sister and all of those things before I am now a business person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. How did you end up becoming an interpreter, a sign language interpreter?
I actually wanted to be, when I was growing up, I wanted to be an air hostess. And then when I told my mom about it, I think we asked how much it would cost, and then she was like, there's something you can do. You can become a sign language interpreter, and then through college you can also pay, for your course, because we are not able to, pay for you right now, and you're still young. You can do it at some point. And so I went to the University of Nairobi. So there was a project with Professor Okombo. He's late now, may he rest well. And then he had now this whole group of the deaf community who are doing a research on sign language, because sign language is an evolving language. The one that we currently use in Kenya is Kenyan Sign Language, KSL. So I went, and then I found the guys that were there, went to school with my dad.
There's Kenyan Sign Language, and then there's Global Sign Language.
Yes, there is American Sign Language. There is the sign language that they use in Britain is not the same as here. Like, it's very different. Some things like the alphabet, the numbers are the same. But,
okay.
Because of different cultures.
Yeah.
Like, we never used to have a sign, like, for instance, for snow. Like, a deaf child in this country might not know the sign for snow because it's not in our culture.
Exist, yeah.
But, the alphabet, they're able to communicate, of course. It's only that the signs are a bit different. Yeah. So when I went to the university, I found now the deaf guys who are the lead of that project. They went to school with my dad. And so when I explained to them who I am, and they're like, oh my God, yes, this guy, we went to school with him and whatever. So I think my favor started from, back then. When you know people, you sort of even get a lot of opportunity to even practice what it is that you're learning. Weirdly, when I got into that project, I had been speaking sign language all my life. But then I realized I know nothing. When I went there, because in this setting, it's very professional. At home, or, I'm speaking Gikuyu, with my mother, for instance, she became deaf when she was 8 years old. So she had acquired language. So even if her hearing got lost, she can still speak. But now, because she doesn't hear a lot of stuff, you have to be used to her to understand what it is that she's saying. And a lot of it is in Kikuyu.
When you say you're speaking sign language as a child, how did you start speaking sign language as a child?
I think it's where you find yourself in. You find when you start becoming, when you start knowing who you are, you realize that this is how you communicate with your parents. The earliest memory that I have is my dad teaching me now the alphabet. You know, and
so your dad is deaf.
Yes.
He's teaching you alphabet in sign language.
Yes.
And you're speaking back to him, or how does that work?
It's natural. It just happened. I can't really explain it, but I found myself. But I can remember being taught the alphabet. I don't remember being taught different signs, but we would communicate. You know, and so like growing up, now me and my sister, we used not to be the sign language interpreters for my parents, which was so weird, because now if you're in trouble in school, yet you're the one who's supposed to, you know, come and tell your mother, this is what happened. This is why you're being called to school. That they did this. Of course, I'm not going to, I used to be that cheeky child.
Exactly.
I'm not going to tell you, Mom, Ati, this is what happened. Ati, I ran away from school. You know, so there was a time that I was actually caught because I went with a group of girls. We left during break time and we went to buy sweets, and then we were caught. The bell rang before we came back, and then we were caught, and then we were told to go and bring our parents. The deputy headmaster that time didn't know who my parents are. Everybody in my village knew who my parents are. Like everybody knew those are those girls of those deaf people. You know, those are those ones, you know. And you don't mess with those ones lest you have children who are deaf. I mean, why are you mistreating them, you know? So you used to have that special treatment like all the time. So this new teacher didn't know. And so he asked me to bring in my mother. Me, I never used to get in trouble like that. So I brought her. So when I brought her, so I'm there. He's saying hi. Of course, she can't hear what he's saying, but she can lip read. And so she's greeting him, and then he's wondering, okay, what is happening? So I told him she's deaf. And I'm the one who's going to be interpreting. So he says, Ebu, tell her what you did. I told Mom, you're being called because of the progress that I am, you know, I am doing in school. I'm doing well. So my mom smiles. So he goes like, you're lying, because why is she smiling yet you did something that is wrong? So he was like, I'm going to write what you did. So he wrote. My mom was so angry. I was beaten. And so I stopped. And then so he made others realize that you actually do not need an interpreter who has a conflict of interest. You can write. You can write back
to
and
the
forth.
parents.
It will take time, but you can do a
you
back
communicate
and forth.
better to the
And
parents.
so I changed because I saw if I ever get in trouble, she will be called and she will be written to, and she will understand what it is. So so back to now the university. So they had gone to school with my dad, the deaf guys there. You were asking about my father teaching me sign language, yet he's deaf. Actually, a lot of people who have learned sign language, they are taught by a deaf person. Like day one, you go into a room, it's a deaf person who's signing to you. It's baptism by fire. They don't speak to you. You know, so you have to learn whether
they're speaking to you in signs.
So so I realized I didn't know a lot of stuff, and you know, professionally, even the speed in signing, you know, becoming an interpreter, and so that is when now I started learning. I got exposed now to the deaf, you know, community, the professionals. So I started now attending workshops, becoming, you know, translating for them, volunteering in church. And then now you become up to speed, and then you learn the deaf culture now properly, because it's a very different culture from the way we, you know, the way you and I interact, for instance.
Do you want to explain a bit when somebody says the deaf culture? What's a deaf culture?
The deaf culture is how they do their things. It's very different. They have sort of it's norms. Like, for instance, the way you and I communicate with a lot of, diplomacy, in the deaf community, there's not that, there's no like, the people are very straightforward. If I'm, for instance, giving you news about pregnancy, for instance, the deaf person is going to be, but that is pregnant. That's it, that person died. Point. There's no, there's no beating around the bush. It's very direct, and then they do things as a community. So you have to find, a community, and it's normal because, like, in my village, my parents, for the longest time, even up to now, they don't have a community like that. It's just the deaf people who are their friends who would come and visit them, and vice versa. So they don't belong to chamas, to whatever. And even growing up, we didn't have kids coming over to my place because I don't go to their place as well, So the deaf culture is, they have language, which is sign language. Yeah. They're very, direct. They attend their own, churches, their own, special schools. Yeah. And also marry amongst themselves. But lately, the more people learn sign language, the more you find their spouses who are, one is hearing, one is deaf. You would have never heard of that kitambo, It was always a deaf person and a deaf person. Yeah.
Okay, interesting. I didn't know there's a deaf culture, so I guess I'm learning today.
Yeah.
And also the fact that, to belong in the deaf culture, you sort of have to learn to be direct, which is something I think we all need to learn, to just go straight to the point. As human beings, we like belonging, so being part of that community. And then something interesting you've said is that you didn't have friends or people coming over.
Yeah.
So it sounds like a lonely experience. I don't know if it was. I just want to explore that a bit more in terms of how did that shape Njeri
I think
today.
It sounds lonely now, but I think it's made me the current kind of person that I am. I love my space very much. I'm almost that person who doesn't like visitors because I don't even go to people's places. Okay, the issue was people used to have this perspective. I don't know if they would think deafness is contagious or what it is, because we were sort of feared.
It's like a misunderstanding or misinterpretation.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you're very special, but not in a very special kind of way. So you're sort of feared, and people do not want to interact with your parents. And of course, if you're not very open to interacting with my mom or my dad, or you're not able to communicate with them, I am not going to let you into my space as well. So I won't come to yours, So I find even my sister, the way she is right now, it's we don't have that sort of community. I sort of start ghosting people when they become too much, when they, can start asking, I want to come and hang out. Can you come and hang out and stuff like that? I'd like to come and see you.
Yeah.
I am very unable to hold that sort of, community, and I'm fine. But then when you've mentioned it, when you've mentioned that how lonely it can be, I've just looked at the situation right now, how I am as a parent, and what does that do to my children? Because then I don't open that door for people to keep coming. They don't see a lot of people unless we go to see their grandparents. I don't have people coming over and stuff.
Okay.
So I don't know. It's something I must go and think about.
How it has shaped you,
my children.
To the present.
Yes. Yeah. Even current, I'm fine with the fact that I can be by myself and I'm fine. But what does that do to my children? Does it affect them? Do they feel weird? My place never has people. Mom never allows us to. I let them go, but they don't see that.
That natural interaction of tumeenda wakina.
Yes. And the cousins do not even come over because the sister is the same as me. So we don't have those things.
And how do your children communicate to their grandparents?
My first two, interestingly, my firstborn, where she goes to school, there's a boy in her class who's deaf. weirdly, she's the one who teaches him sign language.
Interesting.
Yeah, and the parents of that boy, I like the fact that they decided he needs to be in an integrated school. I have found deaf people who went to schools where there were hearing children. They sort of develop much more better than being in a special school. And I think we can talk about that later about what can be done for children who have all types of disabilities. Do we, segregate them to just one corner as special children, and yet the community out there is of everybody,
That's a very profound point in terms of, because you've said you are special, but not special.
Yes.
So as much as you're not the one who was disabled, your parents were disabled, did you feel special?
I felt, I wouldn't call it special. It came with a bit of shame. And the shame is, the fact that these people do not want to interact with us. So you're almost ashamed to let people know that my parents are deaf. And of course, people would sit and treat you like you're so different. That is the girl that's,
Yet you're not the one with the disability.
Absolutely. That is the girl that the parents do not hear.
Yeah.
And so you'd find, children are ruthless. They would come and ask you, do they breathe? Can they, can they hear smells? Because they don't hear, and if, I think also, you see the way deaf people try to bring out words, but they are so different. It's like a child. And so this is a grown person. Children do not care. Children are going to laugh, You're going to be like, I mean, why is your mother speaking like that? So why will I let you in my space like that? So you're special, but it's not in a shameful kind of way, not in a positive, way. And if it doesn't go checked, because I can tell a very big difference between my sister and I. I went into the deaf community later in my life, and I met a lot of amazing, deaf people who are professionals, who have given me opportunities, who are so sharp and so bright, who are very proud to be, deaf. They've accepted, they're okay. So it's a very huge difference when you look at my parents and them. And so I started, feeling this sense of pride, this is quite a special community and it's so awesome. I'm very happy to be part of it. At one point I was a sign language interpreter for K24, so I was on the TV and everybody at the village is seeing me and stuff like that. And so I was exposed to, this, it's a very special thing. It's a privilege, right? My sister, on the other hand, she stayed back. And so, she, got a family. She's into agribusiness. She does other things. So you can see her interaction with my parents is very different. I front them. Like the first thing I tell somebody when I meet them, my parents are deaf and I'm very proud of them. If I go home, there's a church service, I'm the one who's going to be interpreting and stuff. My sister will never.
Okay.
She was telling me she actually has friends who she went through high school with, campus with, who do not know. Absolutely.
Interesting.
And it's my personality is my parents. Like my parents are deaf. My sister would never. So you can see like how society can really shape how you view disability, for instance, depending on how people treat you. And it's not their fault. It's the way it is.
I must commend you because you've moved from special shame to special, very proud of who I am, my environment, and actually, because it's also a special skill for you to be able to do sign language interpretation.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
And even to go out there and learn and become a professional sign language interpreter. So for anybody out there who's looking at sign language and becoming a sign language expert, how would they go about it?
Right now, there are so many institutions that are teaching sign language, including me, because I have a startup that does sign language called Sign With Us. It's an online platform where we have pre-recorded videos where you can learn sign language, you know, at your own pace. And then like after every lesson, then we sit and do an online assessment. You know, I get to gauge, or my team gets to gauge how far you are, or if you're ready to move to the next step. There's also now, you can now start, you know, by that, because what you have to do is learn the basics. And the basics are usually like the way a nursery school kid does. You know, it's ABCs, it's 1, 2, 3, it's family members, very basic, like 12 units of just very basic signs.
Okay.
So that after that, you go to the intermediate, where now you start learning signs, and then now you move at the expert level, where you're now a sign language interpreter. Now, to become a sign language interpreter, I keep telling people, nobody can teach you to be that.
It's about interest.
Yes, and you also have to be in that environment. You have to keep doing.
Yeah.
You have to do a lot of volunteering, and you have to do a lot of interaction with deaf people, so that, you know, you can learn different signs, the speed. They're different. The deaf people have different ways of, it's like the way we have accent. They even have accent as well. So there's a way you would get a personality of a deaf person. There's a way I sign to my dad, I wouldn't sign to another deaf person.
Okay.
There's a way when I'm in a professional setting, I wouldn't take it back home. So sign language interpretation cannot be taught. That is my honest opinion. But the basics you can learn. You learn the signs, but to become an interpreter, you have to be in it. You have to keep practicing. You have to keep doing.
And putting yourself in an environment that allows you to do that.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Interesting, Njeri. Just building on this conversation on the opportunities for sign language. And I guess we can speak to sign language and also to disability in general. When you look at the Kenyan culture, Kenyan governance and policies, what, in your view, what are the opportunities that exist that can make the life for those living with any form of disability more better or more accommodating for them? Yeah.
I think the most important thing would be not to see a person with disability as different, because, for instance, like what we had mentioned earlier, I learned, I stayed in Meru for about 5 years, and when I was there, I was close to a deaf school called Kaga School for the Deaf. And it's a boarding school, of course, because like, for instance, my village, it's only my parents and another 2 guys who are deaf. So you can't have a school, you know, for deaf children. So it has to be a boarding school that is quite far away mostly for these children. And you'd find a child who is as young as starting now nursery school at 4 is in boarding school, and they've come from, you know, Kakamega or wherever. To come in and
They've been
learn,
uprooted from their family.
Absolutely. And this is a very young child. So I looked at that and I was like, it's so wrong, because why are you telling this child that she's special and she has to be in boarding school, yet there are holidays where she has to go back now to the society and learn how to live with this society? You know, you interact with these children and there is so much that has been taken away from them. And it grows with them into adulthood, because now this person, it takes very much for them to start now mixing with the society, because you have to anyway. After school, where do you go? You go back to the community, and probably your village, you're the only deaf person there who knows sign language, you know, so you can't communicate with people. And I felt like there's a need to shift the policy and start wherever this child is. Don't uproot them from the community and take them so far. Why don't they learn with the rest? Because it has been proven. There are deaf adults whose parents did not allow them to go to special schools, and they went to, you know, the normal schools. And they are able to, in fact, their social skills are much more better than a deaf person, because a deaf person sort of feels like it's their world, and, you know, I have my own world. So I think even or the other children with disabilities. There's Joytown, for instance, for children with physical impairments. you want to tell me like a school near this child who is on a wheelchair cannot just have a ramp, for this child. And this child will access education like any other person, and these other children will learn about
how to live,
how to live with this child with this type of disability. Of course, not all disabilities are the same, because there is also those learning disabilities. There is autism. There is, but there are some disabilities that really I don't feel there is any need for having to just, quote unquote, throw them somewhere kilometers away.
Yeah.
Just because, I don't feel. I feel that there's a need for that to
integrate. Because what I'm picking from this is that, where possible, depending on the kind of disability or impairment, then integrate the child to the community around them as much as possible. And as much as it's difficult because some disabilities are so visible. But how do we rewire the community to actually learn to embrace our differences? Just like we embrace our personalities. Yes. I'm introverted, I'm extroverted. With time you learn and then you embrace me.
Absolutely.
So it's just, how do I embrace the different personalities in the same way? Interesting. I'm really enjoying this conversation.
Yeah, me too.
I'd like us to have a bit of untethered conversation segment, question time. So we have different colors, different cards. We can go in order, or you can just say you want white, black.
I like order.
So we can start from right to.
We can start from here.
From
the farthest from
you.
The farthest.
Yes. Okay. I don't know if I'm not good at shuffling, but I'll try and shuffle them. This is actually, the topic is purpose. So it's just a random question on your purpose in life. And I got a good one, actually. So what has been the single most influential moment in your life?
The single most influential moment in my life?
Yeah.
One.
If you were, I'm sure you have many influential moments.
Yes.
But which is that one moment that sticks out as having influenced you significantly to date in the way you pursue your purpose, your goals?
I think I actually got to learn about who I am and the audacity that I hold. When I got, I first did, when I first got into sign language, and so I was, we are learning, and so in class we are being told there's these different organizations that you guys can go and, seek for internship and stuff like that. So my first place that I went to Liverpool VCT. It was just, that time HIV was quite, it was back in 2008, 2009. And, HIV was, there was a lot of campaign around that. And there was also training for deaf people to become counselors. Because what used to happen before, there would be also a lot of breach of confidentiality, because if I am a deaf person and I want to be tested, I have to come with a sign language interpreter so that you can counsel me, and then I test, and they might see, and so they were like, let's train deaf counselors so that we can have a group of deaf people who are able to do that. So there was a whole department for disability at Liverpool VCT. And I just came out of school when they were being trained. And so I get a text, and they ask me, are you able to interpret for a diploma, class for VCT counseling and testing? I'm like, yeah. I have never interpreted in my life before. I have at home, but you see, this is a village.
You just finished kind of training now. You're fresh.
Yeah. And I was like, yeah. I was not even 18 yet. I was 17. I was turning 18 that year, because I remember we got that contract in July, and my first payment went to my mother's account because I didn't have an ID.
Did she give you the money?
She bought a cow. I hope we get
She
a sign
invested
language
for you.
interpreter in this episode that Kakora that is usually there. She needs to be reminded she bought a cow with my money. She needs to pay me back.
Where is the cow now? Do you know?
I have no idea. So I realized, so when I got there, it's when now I started interacting like with these professionals, this group of deaf people who really believe in themselves, like, you know, they're so professional, you know, they have careers, they have dreams, they have, you know, I have never seen anything like that. And that's made me shift my attitude to like, what is it that you can and cannot do, and there's nothing you can absolutely not do. Like I got a lot of audacity from that, you know, experience. Like there's nothing you will throw to me and unless I'm not interested. But there's nothing you'll throw to me and I'd be like, me, I'm not going to do this. I'm unable to do it. I usually do it. So I think that influenced me so much. And the boss of that program now, that time, who's like sort of the person who now got me into the professionalism of all of it. He, you know, one time he got an opportunity to go to, I think it was Germany. And so he goes like, you know, I learned very fast. I think I was in my zone. You know, I interpreted the first week was quite very hard for me, but then I got, you know, I got the hang of it and, you know, and they embraced me and I was good. So he got an opportunity to go to Germany in October. So I was turning 18 in September. So October he was supposed to go to Germany, and then he asked me like, "Do you have a passport?" And I'm like, "Yeah." These are things that everybody has. These things. What do you mean? You know, I don't even have. So we planned. There's an itinerary. There's a letter of invitation. Mimi hakuna kitu niko naye. Sinanga hata passport. I got a passport on a Friday. I think, and we were supposed to travel in like 2 weeks time.
And that's when your visa interview and see what?
Now because you're the aid of a person with disability, and those sides, those Western sides, there's a way they hold disability. It's not like here back then, but these days it's quite different. There's a way people view disability these days. It's not a lot of discrimination like it used to be. And so I went, we did everything. I got the passport. But when we got, I think, to Brussels or whatever, they looked at my passport. I had never traveled anywhere. And, you know, they kept on asking, "Hey, will she come back?" I mean, like, so we had to show them the letter of, you know, invitation that I'm going to go and come back. And we stayed for like 2 weeks.
Okay.
And it was so awesome. And you know, that is when I was like, it's the first time I met an air hostess. What I wanted to become.
What you wanted to become.
Kwanza hata hiyo kitu nilisahau kitambo sana. I mean, I'm now an interpreter. You know, I have a job and I'm making money. And I saw a hostess. I don't know what I thought in my head a hostess was, but it hit me. This is a waitress on the plane. It's not demeaning it by the way, but you know, it's what it hit me like, oh my God, okay, I've experienced it. Oh, I'm done. We're going to move along with this sign language thing. It's what we're going to do. So that is what has shaped me until now. There's nothing, absolutely anything. Like if I put my mind to it, I'm just going to do it. So and I will never say, no, I can't.
That moment made you realize that you just need to have interest in it.
Yes.
And the audacity.
Yes,
to
and it's all here.
And it's mental. Not bad at all. Not bad at all. I want to try another Untethered segment. So we've agreed we're going in an orderly fashion. And it's about what? It's about relationships. It's a good question, actually.
Let's see.
What do you hope that people close to you never forget about you?
My loyalty towards them. I have a very small circle, but I would, I think I would go out of my way to, you know, like make you feel seen, you know, I try. So I hope they will always, you know, feel that, that my loyalty is something that they have not experienced elsewhere, I hope.
How did loyalty become an important value to you?
I think it started from when I was small. The way I'm choosing my parents because you have failed or you're unable to interact with them. So I'm not going to be on your side. I'm going to be loyal to this person who's very dear to me. And so, and also them, of course, they didn't have a choice, but they kept on choosing us over and over again. So I feel like in a relationship, whatever kind of relationship, if there's no loyalty, then, and I'm very big on loyalty, I don't think there's anything that beats that, it's a very special thing to show someone. Yeah.
Do you have an example where you're comfortable to share in terms of a situation where loyalty beyond your parents has impacted you long term? Either you showed it to somebody or somebody has shown, or you want to appreciate somebody for their loyalty.
Weirdly, I never get it back. I never get it back. And I was thinking the other day, because these days I have a lot of time to myself, and I was examining my friendships. And I was asking myself, am I a bad friend? Because I don't have long-term, I don't have people. I only have one person who has been in my life since primary school days, I think maybe there's something that I need to look inward and figure out, like, if I'm the problem or if it's the people who are the problem. Because the moment I give you all of me and you don't do the same, and I feel like we are not on the same page.
Reciprocation.
I'm done.
Yeah.
And I don't look back. I had a best friend, I think since primary school days up to high school, and we started going to college. She got a job before me, and we still got in touch. We became mothers at some point. See, that is a long friendship.
Yeah, that's a long-term friendship.
And I'm always there. I'm always there, all seasons, or like whatever it is happening. Sometimes you lose touch, or I'm busy, you're busy, but the friendship is always there. Like you can always count on me.
Foundationally, that if I call Njeri,
yes, that person is my person.
Yeah, we can always pick up from where we left. Yeah.
And so one time, I was having, she had a baby, I think 2 years before me. And so now I was having my firstborn. And I'm expecting this person to be there for me, because even when you were having your baby, I was there. Like, the whole time I came to hospital, you were in Kijabi, it was so far. I was coming, yes, you're going to see this, I hope you do. It's the reason I don't talk to you. So I mean, and I'm having a baby where you're so close to me.
Yeah.
She never even one time asked me, like, how are you? Like, I'm the one who kept on asking questions. Why are you like this? And you can tell the energy. You can tell if you're bothering someone. Or
you're exhausting her.
Yeah. Yeah. And I was like, okay. I was done completely. Because why am I this loyal to you? And why do I give you this much love?
Yeah.
Yet it's not the same.
Reciprocated.
And there was no love lost, because she never reached out. It has been, my firstborn is now going to be 13.
Oh, wow.
This year. Yeah.
Okay, interesting. That's a good example of friendships and loyalty.
Yeah.
But I guess life is about seasons, yeah? Because you have different people, friends, acquaintances who show up in your life for
absolutely
different seasons, for lessons, for, I don't know, sometimes there's a lesson, sometimes it's just the universe and the way it was meant to be.
True,
so you've
true.
talked you've actually mentioned motherhood. You're becoming a mother of 5.
Again. Yeah.
So in terms of, as a mother, what are some of the things that you feel, if you were to pick 3 things that you would like to teach your children and that your children never forget, what would those things be?
I think the most important thing that I would want them to, learn is, have a lot of confidence in themselves. Like believing they can, they can be anything that they want to be, and they can do anything that they absolutely want to do. I try to encourage them. I try to get them be out there, like be outspoken. As much as I don't have a lot of interactions with other people, I think I try, to like gauge what is the strength of this person and really, talk to them and encourage them. Because I think my generation, first of all, I never got to have those conversations with my parents where, I only told my mom I want to be an air hostess. I didn't even have a sign for it. I said I want to work in the airplane. And she's like, it's like a pilot? No, like, a girl that is in the plane,
Yeah.
So you don't have those conversations. I didn't have those conversations with my parents back then, but I try as much as possible, to understand. Like all my 4 children right now have very different personalities. Each one has a different gift. And I try to learn and I try to also like, motivate them, cultivate it, encourage them to be, that. The second one is, being kind to everybody. It doesn't matter what a person is bringing or, what you're giving this person or what they're giving to you. Like, you just need to be good to people, the whole time. And I think the other one is, like having dignity also, to be able to learn when to say no, to be able to learn, especially for the girls, boundaries. How are you not going to be a doormat for anybody? How do you carry yourself? Because the way I've realized, the way you carry yourself is how people carry you. Especially in relationships with even men. The way you carry yourself, the kind of pride that you have in who you are, is what mirrors. And this person is going to treat you the way you treat yourself.
Yeah.
And you only get what you allow, to happen to you. So yeah.
That's a good. A few things I've picked: be confident, be kind, set boundaries, be clear on who you are as a person. Yeah. And you've talked about relationships. And if you're not comfortable, we won't pursue it. But in terms of your relationship with the father, with your children, is that something? How do I frame this?
That's how we met. I met your mother.
Are you still together?
Yes, we're still together.
Would you say, or is it? I guess, are you happily married?
Yes, at this point. There are seasons, by the way. There are seasons, and I will be very honest with you, because I mean, people like pretending at I'm happy and whatever, but I don't even. Most of the people, because I'm also in the social media.
Yeah.
A lot of people do not know if I am married or not.
Okay.
Because I don't talk about it, right? It's a very sensitive topic these days, being in the community that we are in. And, we have a lot of, single parents out there. And you also don't want to look like you're in this cocoon where, you don't
in
understand these other people.
Yeah.
So, as at right now that I am seated here, we are very good. We are happy. we are best friends.
Oh, that's beautiful.
But there are times. Of course, there are times that you thought me kwanza ikiki mtu by the I need to move, and I have moved.
Oh,
yes,
okay.
I have. But I realized you can only stay married as long as you both want to, and it's a very hard thing. It's something that you have to keep on wanting, and you have to keep on choosing each other. Things will show up, other interesting guys will show up, or you're going to interact with a guy and you're going to be like, oh my God, this guy, he looks at masculinity differently from my person, and you might, as a human being, you might tend to gravitate toward this person. But then the grass is never greener, So I have learned that the most important thing is to keep, if you want, you keep choosing this person, and then keep having those very uncomfortable conversations where I used to have a lot of issues with like I feel, I saw my mother, like growing up, what she used to do for my dad. You know, she's going to be there for us. She's going to clean. She's going to cook. She's going to be there for my dad. You know, she basically sort the family.
She was serving everyone.
Yeah, she builds the home.
Yeah.
So my dad is the provider. Me, I don't know what else he does, but he's the money person, right? But my mom keeps things going. And so I went into a relationship with that mindset that I am here to build a home. This person is from another different background. The mother is very strong. The parents are together. The mother is very strong. So she tends to, so he sort of views women as very strong. So they build the home, they can provide, they can do all of those things. But then there's this girl from the village who...
Your experiences are so different.
Very different.
Yeah.
So to be able to get this person to now be on the same line as you, it takes... You could give up, you know, midway. But then you have to really sit and ask, am I also being, you know, the best to this person? I want them to be this way, but are they that to me? So there've been a lot of ups and downs, but then you sit and think, is it something that I'd like to try elsewhere, or would I like to keep trying, you know, here?
Where I am.
But yes, there have been moments you're like, man, I'm done. But then you also look at the children and like, how do you want also them to grow up?
Yeah.
Because I believe also it impacts children in different ways, like you know, having a mother, you know, and having a father is quite, and also it depends, like what kind of a parent is this person to. So it's for you to really sit and see, what does this do for me, first of all, and then what does it do for my children? Because if I am not happy, of course, that anger and whatever, I'm going to
pass it on
to the children.
So with the experience that you have in your marriage, looking back from, how old were you when you got married?
24, 23.
Looking back at that period and now, what advice would you give Njeri or anybody who believes in marriage, who believes in love and wants to have that kind of relationship?
Do not get married. No.
Where do all married people start with? Don't get married.
No, it's because, you know, you sort of, let me tell you, I have lived the both sides. All right. I as I mentioned, I had moved out at one point for almost a whole year.
Yeah.
It's not saying even any different. You know, you're there, the whole of your head is in your home. So it doesn't even, you know, those who are outside, they want inside, and those who are inside, they want outside. It's you who has to choose your hard. Yeah. You know, it's hard. So you have to choose it. Yeah. So I think what I would tell myself back then would be, you know, to just wait until I'm mentally, emotionally ready. Because I can tell there's a very big difference between my first two who were born when I was very young and these other two that, you know, I've had when I've already grown and you know, I know who I am, you know, and stuff like that. Of course, my relationship with my first two, we are close, but not as, I didn't enjoy motherhood the way I did with the last two. Who are quite young, you know. You can tell, like, there's so much love and there's so much attention and there's so much...
But that's motherhood, right?
Yes, yes, that's motherhood. So with the first two, you know, I was young. Campus, umetoka campus, you're making money, you want to be out. There's this child back at home. How do you balance this? At some point, you're going to think, this child is inconveniencing me, and you might... You know, this is where most of the people now leave their children at their parents because you're unable to, because you are not ready in the beginning. So I think what I would tell myself is just wait a little bit. It's not like I planned.
So are we waiting a little bit for parenting?
Yes. Even being in marriage, because why are you being in a marriage when you're so young? Why aren't you learning these things? You know, being in relationships. If this is like your first person, who has taught you that you need to learn this person's background and personality, who their parents are, you know, how do their relatives view, for instance, religion or witchcraft or stuff like that. There's so many things that, you know, you need to learn before you get into a relationship or into marriage. Instead of like, you know, learning these things along the way, you know, unaingia mahali, you know, you're like, baby, shoshoto anakuanga mchawi, you know. You know, our children are shaved in a river, in whatever, you know.
Let me ask you, what is the most surprising thing when you got married in terms of something that is normal in the other family, but was very surprising to you? It's
until this day, I can't believe it. Like, you know, the way, see, I told you the way our place never had visitors. Me, my in-laws, they show up, they come, they spend days. Oh my God, why are you? I'm not going
to. In my space?
Back then, let's say back then. But, you know, like, it's that thing, like there's hearing people have a lot of, you know, togetherness and you know, like, and something small is happening, everybody is there. I never saw that, you know. I have struggled to, you know, open myself up to that kind of way of living. But I have not succeeded because it's still, like, for instance, my in-laws, they know my place. They can come anytime we hang out, whatever. My dad doesn't know where I live.
What do you mean?
Yeah, my dad doesn't know where I live.
Why? Okay.
It's who we are.
You're the daughter?
Yes, but he doesn't know where I live. I go see him often. He has never been in any of the spaces that I have lived in.
Is that cultural?
It's sort of cultural in our culture, in Gikuyu culture. I mean, like, there's a thing that they say, you don't step on your in-laws and stuff like that. You don't get used to msizoeane, you know? So you don't do that. So I usually find it so weird, you know, like when that other side is, you know, very open to those sort of interactions. My mom has come, of course, as she knows where I stay, but my dad doesn't even know if we sit on the floor, if I have spoons in my house or where I sleep. He has no idea.
Okay. None. And you're comfortable with it?
It's the way we are. Is it weird?
To me, it is.
Does your dad know where you live?
Most times, yes. No, my dad doesn't. He's now aged, so he doesn't come to Nairobi as often. I mean, us, we have Shags and then we have Nairobi.
Yeah.
But when he was able to visit, it's normal for, like, this is where I live. They may not spend the night or that, but at least they will know in nyumba ya Liz, even though in a car, you know.
My dad doesn't know. Again, the sign language interpretation. You're welcome.
Tell Daddy way to come back, to come and visit.
Yes, welcome home, please.
Interesting. I want to just look around for... This is a topic I'm actually very passionate about. Self-awareness, just things about you that you've learned. I don't know if this is a self-awareness question, but I will just ask it because I think it's a good question. Is there a time in your life when failure became the best thing that could have happened to you?
Yeah. Back in 2018, so I had previously I had all my life I've had gigs, you know. I have a job and I have gigs, so I have never like been, you know, without a job or without a gig or without money. And so then I think I got used to it, and sometimes you get in over your head, you know, like you become quite proud and you think that
confident.
You think that is the order of life. Like, why are you people broke? Like, what do you mean? Why are you poor? Is that a thing? You know? And I think I was too proud because there was a point where there was a time I was in K24. And I was even working on some voiceovers and stuff like that. Like my star was shining. It looked like this light, even brighter, right?
Yeah.
And then, so then you have these friendships and you know, you're forgetting family, your uncles, your aunties, these people call you and you're like, these people are disturbing me. I mean, I have a whole community. I'm very famous. Like, you people,
I'm doing amazing.
You know, stop disturbing me and stuff like that. So I'm putting a lot of importance on this life outside, you know, the most important people. And I was in business. I remember I was working for K24 and I used to have a pub. And so I used to get into a lot of trouble because it's a pub that is in Kiambu. And so
you ran a bar?
I ran our Incense Spirits.
Okay.
And you're in Kiambu, so there's licensing issues. So you're not being given licenses by the governor back then, YT2. So you're always arrested. So this is my day hustle, and then in the evening I go to interpret.
You were arrested, ulilala kwa?
A lot of times, you know. Let me take you back. My dad, he raised us with our Incense Spirits. He ran our Incense, and it was very successful. In his days, they used to walikuwa wanafika class 7, and then they look at what skill you have. They give you, kama wewe ni tailor, unapewa machine. So he got a welding machine. He's a perfect welder. And he was very successful in his bar.
In welding.
In welding and in his bar.
Okay.
And pombe ikamwagwa 2015. He told me and my sister specifically, this is not a business I would advise any of you to get into. In my head, I'm like, this
What
man.
do you mean pombe ikamwagwa?
Kuna time pombe ilikuwa inamwagwa Central. When Uhuru was fighting the illicit whatever. Yes, and people took advantage of that. So every pub, it didn't matter whether you sell imported alcohol or whatever. Pombe ilimwagwa, and that is how his business ended.
Okay.
Right? So he was very angry and was like, this is not something that you guys should ever try. In my head, I'm like, this dude, kwanza ulifika class 7, me. I am going to be, you know, top 30, under 30, I'm going to be so successful. Because he was very successful with that business. Like, we are who we are, even the kind of respect we have in the village because of his business.
He was a good businessman.
Yes. And so I'm like, I have this NGO job, ikaisha, the benefits that we got, mimi huyo, nikaenda nikafungua wa Incense Spirits, niko na experience. I mean, I even know where suppliers are. I used to get for my dad and stuff like that. So I went, I have never, even to this day, siwezi kuonyesha hata kalamu nilinunua na pesa ya hiyo nini. It was problems from the beginning. Because first of all, you're not getting a license, so you're illegally trading. And then I was somewhere, they were telling me I am at the border of Nairobi and Kiambu, so I would be arrested by police in Nairobi, another in Karuri, another in wherever. So I would always, every Friday, there's always a bribe that I am preparing for the knee. So I got into a lot of debt because you keep borrowing money to keep this place going. And it was a nice place. It was loved. By then it used to be full all the time, you know. It was really nice.
So you were making money?
Yes, I was making money, but I was not making money.
It was going
to other
problems.
Yes. And you see, even when I borrow my friends' money, first of all, you're on Njeri Muchina, you're on K24, your pub is always full from morning to evening. So utarudisha to me nitakupea pesa because I'm confident that it's you that I'm giving the money.
Did you pay back the debts?
I did, but I got into a bigger debt so that I paid them.
Okay.
And before I paid back that debt, I was arrested. And that time, I think our luck, all the people that were getting the ninis, those who were selling without licenses, our luck ran out. Because every Friday you'd be arrested. You know, you bribe so that you don't spend the weekend in the sales. Utoke. This time walikata, you had to be taken to court on Monday. And, you know, so the judge was like, I'm not going to make a decision on, you know, whatever is happening until next Thursday, you know.
Okay.
So you're taken to Langata for the first time
Friday.
In my life, on a Monday. For the first time in my life. On Friday, mmeshikwa jioni, hamja bribe, wamekata. So on a Monday, mumeambiwa decision will be made on Thursday.
On Thursday,
so you're taken to Lang'ata for the first time in your life. Kwanza, first of all, I lost my job because I never showed up to work at night. You know, why are you not showing up? Because if you don't show up for news, those people are going to be...
You affect...
yes, they are going to be fined.
Yeah.
But uzuri, there was an interpreter for 7 p.m. So ndo waliendelea. But then it was announced that I should not step foot there. Guy corporate world is so ruthless. So I lost my job.
You lost your job pursuing your side hustle.
Yes.
Okay.
Aya, sasa si umekaa huko. Aya, Thursday inafika. Ni mgonjwa, mtafuka mpaka next Thursday. So we stayed.
Judge ni mgonjwa.
Yes.
Okay.
So we stayed until the other Thursday.
So more than 7 days.
Yes. So 2 weeks, you're there. Hey, it hits you when now people start coming to see you and you're wearing those things. Zinaitangwa kunguru. Guy, 2 weeks ago, you were such a different person.
Yeah.
This is who you are right now. You know?
Ni za orange. No, not orange. The striped ones.
Ya orange. Alafu sasa hiyo ingine ni zebra. Mi by the hata sijui mbona nimevai kitu. So, now,
zebra.
My dad doesn't know that I do this business. Alafu the idiot in me, unaona nikitengeneza hiyo pub, the grills and the whatever, I called him to come and weld. I said it's a friend's place. I gave him that job.
Yeah.
He came, akaweld milango,
nikamlipa. You called your own father.
Yes.
Come, weld, do this for me.
Ni ya rafiki yangu. Ni ya rafiki yangu, nimemwambia you do a good job, nini. So he doesn't, all this time, for almost a year, he doesn't know this is what I do. So my sister now, she hears from Mr. that, Njeri, this is what happened. So she goes and tells my dad. My dad is going crazy. What do you mean? Ati anauzanga pombe. And then she's been arrested. Like she's, you know, my life changed completely. By the time I was coming out of there, we were set for a cash bail, and then the whole thing we never went back to court again, and you know, Elisha. But by the time I was coming out, I did not have a family. I did not have a job, and the business was gone. All right?
So you're literally starting from
zero. Yes. And I remember when I was living there, because there are a couple of friends who would come and see me. Okay, of course, first of all, my reputation got ruined. Because there's a lot of speculations, you know, what happened. At one point, there's somebody who said somebody died in the pub. You know, people fought, you know. Another person is, you know, ni madeni. You know, another person, you know, like there's not ever a real story that is out there. But it's fine. I also learned. I was in a bubble by there. I used to have very nice views towards people. I was in a bubble. Even the people that were closest to me, I used to love them so much with all my heart. I realized later that people are not actually usually very happy. If you're doing well and they're not, even if they are, if somebody does not have a good heart, they're not happy. All right? So I come back, I have absolutely nothing. We have to start from zero. So I am back at my parents, very ashamed. We are not having that conversation because, I mean, how are you selling a pub? And we never talked about it.
I warned you against this.
Yes.
Your father.
We never talked about it. So now I am a failure. After very many years of...
come from being a very successful, thriving young adult.
Within a month. By then it was, I think, the last week of March. By April, I was nothing. I had absolutely nothing. And it's the first time in my life since... Because after high school, you know, all of these things are happening. You've traveled the world, you've traveled all over the country because you're doing the 2010 constitution. You know, you have this attitude towards life. You're wondering, how do people struggle? What do you mean? You don't work hard. Kwani these opportunities do not find you, you know? Hey, I think I got depression and I think I lost my mind a little because my grandmother tells me, I used to talk to myself and I was so different and the light that I used to have just disappeared for months. And so I had a friend that I used to talk to. She was in Meru. And then I would tell her, you know what is happening, you know, I'm so stressed, and she should send me a time, nini. And then one time she was like, you know, me kwanza sasa nimechoka kushinda nikisikia all the time you're just here complaining.
We're begging
so
and you're
how long are you going to do this? You know?
Basically she said, get yourself out of your
sasa hiyo ni Oktoba. Unaona ni kutoka April. Sasa hiyo ni Oktoba, sasa ananiambia hii story. Ameniambia sasa amechoka.
6 months later.
Amechoka na mimi. So she tells me there's a job that there's a person I have talked to. You come to Meru, there's a job. I'm like, okay, fine. So I got fair. Nikaenda nikafanya interview. It was an insurance job. It wasn't even a job. It's just those people that are looking for agents. Yeah. So your qualifications do not matter. And then it was a season that got very dry, and I realized what you said about seasons. Nothing was working. Okay. So people the whole time, the deaf community that adored me at one point, I was removed from groups. By the season yako ikifika, guy, when it's your time, when it's done. Even dogs don't like you. Unapitanga bali na kubakia tu. Watu nakwambia, this dog is usually so nice.
But it's barking at you.
When it's your season of that one, it's so bad. So I was, like there was just something that died. I died. Okay? I was never the same. That time I was Lucy, actually. This is my sign name because of this too. That Lucy died completely. So I went to Meru.
What do you mean that was your sign name? Are there sign names?
Yeah, deaf people have
we'll come
sign
back
names.
to that.
Yes.
Let's finish this.
So I go to Meru. Of course, you get it because they're looking for people to whatever. So I tell this girl, I'm so excited. This is an opportunity. I come, I tell my mom, I need to move, but you stay with the kids. Nitawakujia baadaye.
But then you had how many kids?
2.
Okay.
So I go. So when I went, I sat in their meeting and I was like, the first briefing, and of course welcoming the new people. And they are so excited that the girl who made the most sales is going to get inaitwa nini? Commission of 10,000. I'm waiting to hear the most. I was like, is it dollars? Is it? What do they mean 10,000? I mean, that is what I used to get in one session. What do you mean? In a month? Hey, they gave us 100 bob for airtime to call
follow up with
clients and whatever. That 100 bob, I never bought airtime. I decided I'm going to open a cleaning company. I'm very good at, cleaning spaces and whatever. Like I notice things like, So I decided, this is nonsense, by the way. I left midway in their worship, when they were worshiping and planning for the day. I left with their 100 bob. I'm sorry I stole from you. I left with their 100 bob. I went to shops, different shops, but then I realized this is Meru town. I didn't get very good reception. I was telling them, I've come to set up a company here, a cleaning company. We can be cleaning your shops first thing in the morning, and then you can continue with your day. I didn't get very good reception. I didn't give up. Now saizo niko na dress na stilettos. I used to be in corporate, so I still have those things.
With your dress stiletto, and you're saying, excuse me, sir, I offer...
Me ni CEO.
Cleaning services.
Yes.
I am the CEO of Njeri Cleaning.
That's ilikuwa inaitwa Max Hub.
Okay.
So Max Hub iko Kiambu, sasa tunataka kuileta Meru. The reception there is so weird. So I went to another town. I paid, I think, 30 bob Makutano town. And that is where I got my first client. She was like, do you clean homes? Ama ni shops peke yake, because as we do shops for ourselves, we don't employ people to do that. Mi kwa akili yangu, for months, sijai kuwa hata na 10 bob. Nimekuwa nimesota vibaya sana, So in my head, I'm saying, if I do for 50 bob, 10 shops, 500 by 10 a.m., I am set. Nani kama mimi? I'm going to be set. I'll stop living with this girl. I'll get my own place. I'll get my kids. I'll start over. I'll be fine. It's all delusional. Aki, I was crazy, but it's a very good crazy. And she let me to her house. She didn't even know me. She just let me go. She had not been there for a couple of days. It was quite dirty. Hey, God gave me grace. Mimi nilisugua hiyo nyumba. Sinks, toilet, nikampangia mpaka spices with capital letters yenye imeanza na C, inaenda hivyo C,
OCD F. Structure, as you said.
Yes. She came, she was like, she told me they used to pay Mama Fua's 300 bob. Me, she gave me 1,500. Kai, my 1,500 in like, I don't know how many months.
Yeah. You cried.
Who was like me. But I worked from 2 to Kitu 7. And then she told me, I'm going to tell people about you. I'll tell my brother. So she calls people when I'm
referring.
There. No, she started, kuna nini nimepata hapa nini. So I started getting bookings. Before I knew it, Mimi, by there, I started now. Why are you struggling? What do you mean? And I had a lot of grace by
you
then.
You like asking questions. People like, why are you struggling?
You know, guy, you would imagine I'd become humble. I used to do even laundry for 2 houses. Like, naenda kwa huyu client na naenda kwa mwingine. Huku kulikuanga tu kwa black.
Oh no.
But somehow I just got grace.
Yeah.
And things started working. So, hiyo ni October. November, me and my boo, we got back together. Namwambia huku, you know, I got a job. Of course, I don't want to tell anybody that I clean. I mean, it's Njeri Muchina, what do you mean you clean? Mama Fua.
From
no way.
Girly,
yes.
Stilettos to
Mama this Fua. One. Apana. So I told him. And then his job had ilikuwa imeisha.
Oh, no.
So I'm like, you come. This place is nice. We will figure it out. The nice thing about him is that we can do anything. We don't choose. Tunaweza fieka, tunaweza osha, tunaweza, you know.
Kamwambia kuja tukue Mama Fua.
So he was doing the landscaping.
Oh.
And then in the landscaping now he's an engineer. He got an opportunity to, you know, take care of somebody's building that was coming up, and our lives changed. So in these interactions where I am meeting people, somebody is saying there's something very different from you and Mama Fua's, you know. So they want to know who you are.
They want to know your story.
You know?
What's your story? How did you end up here?
Yeah. So I meet this doctor. He's a client. I clean for him. I do all these OCD things. You know, his hangers are looking this way, all of them. You know, and then he notices and he's like, what are you doing? And I'm selling that story. I have a business. I'm not actually, Mimi, I'm doing it to show you how my staff do these things.
Yeah.
I'm still very ashamed to admit that this
I am
is the level
staff.
I am at in life. Yes.
Mimi peke yangu, I'm the only employee.
Yes. Yeah. So me, I'm here as a CEO, nataka kuonyesha, this is what we do.
Yeah.
This is our organizational culture. When I bring you somebody else, this is exactly what they are going to do.
That time you've not trained anyone. You don't even have anyone to train.
Wapi. I do, you know, like, I keep telling you, we are all booked. So nitakuja kesho, you know. And people preferred me mostly. So they would be like, hey, nisa nitangoja. So this guy tells me Nairobi Women's is opening in Meru. And since you have a company, you apply, you ukwe unaosha uko na kampuni yako. Audacity. Again, Mimi, sina kampuni. I registered Max Hub that night. And I prayed, your certificate itoke haraka, though I take those applications to Nairobi Women's before they open. And they did, and we got the job, but I didn't know pricing. You see me, I'm doing all of these things kienyeji.
Yeah.
So you're charging very cheaply. So you see, at the end of the month, when you're getting your money, hakuna kitu, umenunua hizo vitu zote za kuosha na kulipa watu, you go back to,
Like you're not making profit.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so, and then I was like, homes are much better. Me, this thing, I'm not able to do it. So I left it.
Oh, you left the Nairobi hospital?
The Nairobi Women's. I was like, I'm not going to clean this. I left it. And then another opportunity came. Now there was a marathon that was coming, and you know, people need to, you know, you need to clean up after people, the stadium, nini. That is what changed my life completely. I got the biggest paycheck I have ever seen, even when I was employed in nini.
How much was
it? And I'm not going to mention, but I bought a car. And
millions.
And land. And
you bought a car and land?
Yes.
Okay.
Though it's not a Prado. It was, my first car was an Axio.
Okay. Yeah. You're doing amazing.
Yeah. So and so things change. Yeah. That is now uko 2019. Tumetoka 2018 October.
2018.
Nini, so my
from
family
the
is back.
0, nothing to now 2019.
Yes.
You have enough money to buy land to buy a car.
Yes.
And have pocket change.
And even have a company, because now these women who had been employed before me, the mama fuas that were there, the 300 bob ones, I started having, I had to now train them, because they have to do this work for me, because I'm unable to handle all of these clients.
You've moved from 0, 2018, 2019, you're an employer.
Yes.
Of a number of women. Your family is back together, and financially, you moved from borrowing 50 bob fare to buy a car, land, pocket change, and pay salaries.
Yes, imagine. And we even got an award from Flutter Grants.
Grants, we are going to come to grants.
International Women Awards. And you know, but anyway, it was just $1,000. But that is what made me get inside there.
Just $1,000. Senior, sorry.
Oh my God, why are we struggling?
Why are you struggling again?
So yes, that's. I think we got into Flutterwave, we got the grant, and our lives changed completely, and my outlook about life really changed.
Yeah.
And you know, I learned that you could lose it all.
Yeah.
Even now, I still have those seasons. Just, you know, you would think that would now cushion me for the rest of my life. No. The only difference is that when I get to my rock bottom, because those are seasons, and I realize that is life. It's only that when I was younger, it took a very long time for me to get to rock bottom. But it happens. Sometimes you bounce, you know, up and down and stuff like that. But currently, when I get to there, I know I'm going to get out of it. And I know I possess something in my hands that can get me out. Like I know I can do anything to get out of whatever situation that I am in.
So you possess something that can get you out of anything.
Yes.
What is that something?
The will. You know, it's here. Since I learned that I can clean somebody's toilet and have food on my table, my life changed completely. Like I don't have to have a degree, and I don't have to, you know, be a corporate girl and whatever. You know, I can make chapos, I can make mandazis, and I can still, because what matters is what are you doing, and
your
are
mindset.
You having something at the end of the day? Are you able to take care of your responsibilities? That is the only thing that matters. And it changed my outlook completely on life and what I can do to ensure that, you know, I'm not insane, because you can lose your mind, especially if you have a family. How do you take care of them when you have absolutely nothing? You know.
So I'm a young person, or actually I'm a person. I could be young, I could be midlife, whatever it is, that the season that I am in my life, and I have nothing. And I come to you, Njeri, for advice. What will you tell me?
Why are you struggling? You know, I like using that nini of.
Why are you struggling?
No.
That's going to be our tagline, by the way. Why are you struggling?
Kwanza sasa niko nafuliza, niko hapa nikiuliza, why are you struggling? So the thing is, in the Bible, when Moses went before God, God asked Moses what he has. You know, like, what is it that you have? You know, he said, I can't speak, I have nothing. And he said, I have this stuff in my hand. And then he says, you see, it's what you have. What do you have? Aki, I swear, everybody has something. Hata kama ni kupika chapo, hata kama ni mandazi, hata kama ni kuongea, hata kama ni nini. And you see, these days, it's so nice that we have social media. You can, whatever talent you have, you can put yourself out there, and people can get to know you, and people may notice you and whatever. So I think what I would ask is, don't even think that big. What is it that you're having in your hands right now? And what is it, you know, that you can do? And there's always that grace that you have at every season of your life. Like, you see that grace that I had back then, me, I don't have it right now. Hey? I used to have women who I would go, ninawafulia, aniambia, hizi zilikuwa tu lines mbili. Mimi sitakulipa hiyo pesa yenye nimeambiwa nikulipe. Sasa utafanya? Me, if you dare do that to me right now. tutakosana.
Utalipa
You know,
vizuri.
I have a grocery store. Me, I don't kata mboga. I don't nini. Because I'm not at that level. I have refused that I am not at that level. Nitakuzia mzima na kama hutaweza tuachane.
But there was a time in your life
yes,
where you would have done,
yes,
you would have cut skuma.
I would have, and I would gladly do it.
Yeah.
So I think everybody you have grace at certain seasons of your life. All you have to do is just not to give up, you know.
So the question is, why are you struggling?
What do you have?
What do you have?
The question is, what do you have? Not why are you struggling. What do you have?
And how are you using social media?
Absolutely. Like, you know, what platforms?
What platforms are you using?
Yeah.
Because when I think about it, I think for most people, and I'll come back to you, I would say, well, I have the skill to make chapatis. I may not have the capital, so maybe I'll borrow from my friends. But then there's sometimes, not actually, there's a shame and fear that comes with being at the bottom. So how do you overcome that?
I think, like, for me, what I did is being in a place where nobody knows me. But people are different. I am never afraid of starting over. Like, I really do not fear starting over. I don't mind. As long as you guys don't know me. So I think it's not as easy as it sounds. To be shameless, it's not as easy as it sounds. I think you just have to keep on, like, asking yourself over and over again, what is it doing for my mental health? You know, how is this affecting me? Where do I want to be? You know? Yeah.
Okay, so Njeri ran a Wines and Spirits, started a Mama Fua cleaning business, as a grocery store. What other business have you done? What business have I left out?
Now, when I was at Max Hub, I got into a program with iHub, Women in Business. And, you know, they were teaching us how to, you see, like, the way I have a Mama Fua gig, how do you make it professional? You know, we even had a website where people would book.
It's still there, right?
I sold it.
Okay. And made more millions.
You may think it's millions. It's not even, it's thousands. But I just sold it to somebody who felt, I think my season with that was over. And you can tell when your season is over with something. And I think the most important thing is to accept that the season is over.
Even to acknowledge and notice that it's the end of this season.
And and move on. So in that program, we were supposed to, at the end of it, all the best businesses would, you know, get, I think, 5 million or whatever, but we didn't get. And I was very sad, you know, because I had these dreams of getting an app for, you know, I would be the first app for Mama Fua in Meru. You know, I have these plans in Nanyuki, you know, expand and be big and whatever. And then in my head, I'm like, okay, fine. What can I do with all of this information that I have learned? So I set up a business consulting business. So I stopped being Mama Fua. So I started going back to being corporate now. Why are you cleaning clothes? You know? And so I started now doing business plans for people.
But it's a beautiful thing.
You start doing business plans for people, business strategies. I started registering businesses for people. And just in the middle of it, you hear somebody tell you, you know, we have this idea, it's a startup, and this is what we're doing. We don't have money to pay you, but you can own shares. So I own a lot of shares in companies. They have not started paying me yet, but yeah, I hope one day. And so you'd work with them. And I started realizing I can see things in a business, how to make it, you know, how to make it grow, how to make it not just be basic. And so it's what I had been running for since I think 2020, 2021, up until now. I still do it. What brought me now from Meru to Kiambu is I owned shares in a school in that teaches, you know, skills, carpentry, nini. It's called Jenga courses. So I moved this way to build that business, and it's really nice. I'm actually very proud of it. Although right now it's not doing all that well, it's business anyway, and our country is experiencing changes, and you know, people do not have as much money to, you know, pay for such things.
Yeah.
And so that is how I came, and that is how I got now myself into business, where I run businesses. I from ground up, strategies, marketing, building the brand, how to make it stand out. Even if it's just a grocery store, how do you stand out? How are you different from the rest
of the grocery stores?
Yeah. So it's what I have been doing, and then from there, that is when I went back now to sign language in 2022. So I recorded lessons, the basic lessons for sign language, and then I set up a website, and then I got into Women in Tech program at Strathmore. Yes, that one we qualified. Yeah, we got $10,000 only.
From 1,000 to 10,000. You're growing. Yeah. That's
So,
10 times from 1,000 to 10,000.
Absolutely. And so what we are working with right now is just ensuring that there's sign language in schools, especially junior schools. It's what we are working on right now. And so I think I'm fully in business now.
So now you're fully involved in 3 businesses, actually?
Yes. I have that grocery that is becoming a restaurant. It's closed right now because we are building a kitchen. And then there's sign language, which runs online.
Yeah.
Unless people want me to be there physically to to teach. And then there's also Jenga courses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As we wind up, let's just come back to Untethered. And actually, okay, maybe I'll ask you 2 questions. There's this question, it's an interesting one. What do you think the inside of your heart sounds like?
You tell me. You've hung out with me for an hour. What do you think the inside of my heart sounds like?
I think it's a mix of emotions, serenity, contentment, achievement, ambition, family. It's a lot of good things, but that's from this conversation. So I'll still come back to you in terms of what do you think the inside of your heart sounds like?
A gratitude.
Gratitude.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
I'm very grateful.
You're grateful, yeah? Okay. Okay, I'm gonna choose a few actually. If there was a dance move named after you, how would it look like?
Kai, I'm such a terrible dancer. My kids tell me that, and I keep telling them, I tease them and I tell them they are so lucky to have a talented mother like me, and my 2 oldest are usually like, oh my God, you're so embarrassing. Oh my God, I don't even know. It would look silly, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good. If heaven was a moment to be relived over and over again, what would your heaven be?
Family.
That was easy.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll ask one more before we come to the winding session. What would be the words that would be on your tombstone?
Hey, I would actually what I would want the most is she was a loving wife, mother, daughter, and sister. I really care about what these people, what I mean to them. Even the things that I try to do for them, and how I try to also always make them feel. Going back again to 2018, I realized I used to, see, I've told you the way I used to have so many friends. I used to be an admin of a lot of WhatsApp groups, because I'm the life of the party, and I'm the energy and stuff like that. But those people were never there. This season, all of it. It is my sister who would check on me, it is my dad who would, come in and come to court, for instance, the second time we are going to see if we are going to get bail and whatever. And that is the most, actually that is the thing I regret the most. Seeing him, we were in that bus of Wafungwa Gai Badani. And I'm sitting on the window. So we are being ushered in so that we go to the to the basement and they take you up to Milimani. And I saw my dad, seated, waiting for the gates to open for him to get. That thing broke my heart so badly.
So what did you regret? Him seeing you or the decision that led to being
He never
there?
saw me. I saw him, but I hated that he was there. Like, why wasn't he, taking care of his cows? Why is he there? Like, why am I such a grown woman, putting my dad through such nonsense, That is the thing I regret the most, actually. But those were the people who were there, even after everything. The best friends, the people I'd go on holiday with, share rooms with, share intimate moments with, they were not there, but family was there. And I changed from then. Even my uncles, they're very important to me right now. So even my grandmother, my grandmother came one Saturday, sat everybody down and said, it does not matter what she has done or where she is. You guys need to sit and figure out what you're going to do for her, because we are losing her. Because I was really losing it,
Yeah.
So those were the people who remained.
So family.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. So we talk about personal growth, moments of growth, which actually you've covered quite a bit. So what are some of the practices or things you do for your personal growth, for you to keep up with what's going on in your space and all that?
Yeah. As any human being, there's always that point in your life where you feel like you've stagnated and nothing is moving and life is so boring, I have tried to keep a gratitude journal that, like, even if it's the same things, somehow after you do a list of what it is that you're grateful for, you feel much better and you feel like you're blessed, like I'm really blessed to be where I am. And one of the things that I keep on going back to is, like seeing, no matter what season we are in, my children are growing. The way they were last month is not the way they are right now. They have dreams and aspirations. And I am a mother. I am a parent. Like, I am raising this group of, young guys who are so happy and it's so naive and, life is so, nice. It's not hard at all. And so when I have those moments, because I actually have them, I thought that maybe after overcoming that, I would never have such a moment again. When I have those, I just sit and think, what am I grateful for? Even simple things like, I'm happy that I have a comfortable bed, There was a time I was homeless, that 2018, I was living with this Kagal. And, if she had her boyfriend come over, I'd have to figure out where to go. And you see, so you sit and you're thinking, a couple of, last year actually, I was living in an ensuite, right? Saizi, aki sina place, sina nyumba. You're like, how the mighty have fallen.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you sit and you're like, when I sit in my house right now, it's not an ensuite as it was like those my prime. But the fact that I can be in my house and not leave and not go anywhere, but there's water, there's lights, there's, there's food to cook. I'm so grateful.
So you practice gratitude?
Gratitude.
Yeah.
All the time, and also being very prayerful. Even when you don't feel like it, like I have come to realize like things are always happening. No matter what season we are in, no matter what you're going through, if you're happy, if you're sad, whatever, things are just happening. Battles are, do I sound like a cultist? No.
We're heading there.
But it's just to pray, just to, to keep telling God, just walk with me and give me wisdom. Let me see things for what they really are.
Gratitude, prayer.
Yeah.
Anything else?
I don't know, man.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you met Njeri at 15, what advice would you give her about life generally?
At 15? Hey. Ebu pause. Don't.
It's okay.
Don't just rush to things, because a lot of what has happened in my life has happened because I never used to sit and really think of what it is that I am doing, you know, even the kinds of friendships that I used to have even back then, and the kinds of things that we would get involved in, you know. Now don't have the sign language interpreter. You know, the things that my mom would see and be like, Guy, where did you learn those things? Like, who are you? Whose child are you? It's because of, you know, lack of just sitting and marinating and thinking, what will this do? But then again, you think, if I was a different version of me, probably I wouldn't have the same values that I have right now. I think probably it's a mixture of, you know, be careful, you know, that boy that you're going to meet at 23, you know, try to be careful. Don't, you know, don't get pregnant. Don't settle. Because as we were those ones of settling because now you've gotten pregnant. Sasa tutafanya nini, you know. It's not that thing that you have planned and said, you know, I need to have a family now. You're at a good space. Yani these things happen. Zimekukuta. And so you move along with them. And you see, it also affects this child because you're not in the right state to be able to be a mother to them, because you're trying to live your life.
You're trying to understand who you are and you have to raise a child. Yeah.
Just, you know, pause and think.
Okay. I guess the last question that I would have, actually it's not the last question. I think it's a question that came back to my mind. In sign language, what does innovation look like in sign language?
It's like, for instance, doing things differently than the way they used to be. They have been done. For instance, communication. Up until this point, my parents do not have phones. You know, the reason is I got my dad a phone, and then he told me I'm unable to even do basic things because I'm always on this thing. It's taking a lot of my time. You know, I'm seeing a lot of things that are very interesting on the phone, and I'm not. So I'm done. I don't want it. So how we communicate, we have a worker at home. I call. I'm planning to come on Saturday. If there's anything that is happening, your dad is saying this. That is how we communicate. But I feel innovation, social media, FaceTiming and whatever, the communication is so different right now. You know, we used to do a lot of SMSs back then. Right now we can do videos, you know, we can sign on you know. And there are a lot of also like young deaf guys coming up with a lot of tech skills, coming up with even apps to teach sign language, to translate from what you're saying in voice to sign language on an app. So that this deaf person, you're talking, but something is signing to them. So yeah, it's mostly it's to do with the communication, because that is the biggest barrier that deaf people face. Yeah.
Just curiously, just for further understanding, when you say your dad was spending too much time on the phone, like what was he doing? Is it research? Is it
games? He was playing that snake sensi thing. Anasahau kukamua ng'ombe. I
guess that's a good thing. The child in him comes out.
He was like those Gods Must Be Crazy guys with the bottle. I don't know if you watched that movie when they got so obsessed with the whatever and they forgot their lives. He was like that with the phone. And I was like, no. Even right now, if I go home and he picks my phone, his attention, all of it, there. And he knows, he knows this thing is just going to make my life a bit complicated. So,
interesting. Njeri, thank you so much.
Thank you too.
It's been such an amazing conversation. I think I've learned quite a number of things in terms of from zero to something. I think I'll be asking myself a lot in terms of where are you struggling least? What are the tools that you have? What are the opportunities that are out there? So actually, honestly, it's been such an amazing conversation. Good takeouts. And I hope to be able to have further conversations with you, just in terms of learning how to set up a business.
Sure.
All those kind of things. So asante sana.
Thank you
too. It's been an amazing session.
Yes, it has. Thank you.
So, thank you. So thank you so much for making time to join us today. My guest today has been Njeri Muchina. I've learned a lot today in terms of sign language, running a business, from zero, from grace to
grass.
From grass to grace.
And vice versa. You can interchange.
Vice versa. Also, that there's actually, you can run a number of businesses at the same time and thrive and grow. So thank you so much for joining us, and looking forward to another engaging conversation.